Hey everybody, Logic Hog is back playing Project Hospital, and not a lot happened last video because it is just purely planning the biggest investment in our hospital's history. But we are getting there. We are buying equipment and we are about to open our first real department for a hospital where patients stay days. And it is for general surgery, which is a huge cash cow. Surgery is expensive because when it goes wrong, ooh, it can cost you. And it's life threatening. So, every bed, we're going to give them a bed socket, bedside table, or bedside cabinet. And that's pretty much all they need. Again, I want to guarantee the patients have a 3 by 2 space. And so let's just copy that. That's the bare minimum we know they're going to have. Where that. All right. And again, I'm just going to delete the wall so they have some sense of privacy, even though they're sharing a ward with 5 other people. And we're going to double that on the other side. We're going for uh, maximum efficiency in these wards, not necessarily comfort. This is like when a disaster happens, we're going to be able to handle anything type hospital. Um, but that's the bare minimum we need for the common ward. Not too bad. The high, is it high density HDU? What was that again? Do. High dependency unit. The HDU is just a more severe ward for patients that are more life threatening. They need constant monitoring, that sort of thing. But again, common hospital bed. I'm going to put the defibrillator on the back wall just as long as it's available in the room. But they do need life monitoring equipment. So I'm going to go ahead and fork in the big bucks to have the same life monitors that they have in the emergency room because they look cool. Like really, that's the only reason why I'm picking those. So there. Oh, one thing I want to point out before the bedside cabinet was put down, it says, "Oh, you still need a hospital bed. You don't have a hospital bed." But the thing is that's because in the HDU, every bed needs a bedside cabinet, and every bed needs life monitoring equipment. The bedside socket, the thing over your head, that's optional. But that's the difference between the HDU. The HDUs is just a little more expensive. Um, let's go ahead and do the same thing that I did with the common and copy this off. But there, every single one of these beds is $3,000. Let's open the ward. That ward is open. All right, we've got an HDU. We've got a common. Each one of them can handle 6 patients at a time, which is great. For an early hospital, that is more than enough. And we can always expand it without having to build anything new. We have another row at the other end of the ward that we can open up just by copying equipment. I'm feeling good. Do I want to put like a radio or a TV in there? I kind of want to put like a cabinet with the radio. No, yeah, that'll limit mobility. I don't know. That would look a little more realistic and comfortable, but for now, that'll interfere with our plan. We're gonna make it look a little more ergonomic later. Um, nurses stations. We need to fill these out. So I want at least one nurse station per ward. So that's right there. We're going to have a daytime nurse and a nighttime nurse at all times devoted to that ward. And we have room for 2 because, again, they're going to be wheeling people left and right on the stretchers and the wheelchairs. So I want someone checking on people while someone's delivering a person to the examination room, whatever. You get the gist of the idea. The examination rooms, the diagnostic rooms, are basically the clinic rooms. They have the same examination tables and kind of the same philosophy behind it, where you want to make sure they spend as little time as possible walking back and forth. However, you don't quite have the volume that you have in the clinics because people are only examined whenever they really are. Wow, I got an achievement for wiggling this thing around so much. Huh. But people only go to the diagnostic unit in hospitalization areas whenever they are ready to go. Whenever it's like, okay, is there any more we can do for you? No, you're good to go. So it's not so much about, patients per minute as it is with the other unit. But let me see, where did I put the beds? How did I put the beds? Yeah, upwards to the wall. See if we can keep that common. But for some reason, it's treating these differently. Oh yeah, because there's special equipment that goes next to these. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it in the middle of the room. In fact, I'm going to let's move it a little bit towards the wall. Again, we know we're going to need a sink. Let's put it off there. We know we're going to need a trash bin. The equipment cabinet is also going to be used a lot. Medical light needs to happen. The mobile workstation I want to put there. Let's see. Oh, I have this room clicked, so I'm like, why is it just not disappearing on me? Eye test. Yeah, they still do require the eye test. Chart board. Yep. Differential diagnosis. All of our doctors are going to have that. The dialysis machine. In general surgery, every room has the dialysis machine, which is why it needs that extra spot. It can't go adjacent to the wall like that. I forgot about that. And then equipment tables in the back. Am I going to need a desk and computer? No, I forgot. All right. So just 2 equipment things for the audio meter and the CRP scan. And that's everything we need. I kind of want to put a wheelchair available in the room at all times. And if possible, you know what? Let's put the chart there. I want a stretcher in the room at all times. So that no matter what happens, anybody can come and go, and there's always equipment available. Now, they may just yoink the stretcher and the thing out of the room here instead of taking it from the hallway like I intended, but don't really care. I just need a shit ton of stretchers and wheelchairs so that bodies are moving if they need to be. Now, I only need 1 of these diagnostic units open. That's good enough for me. If it starts clogging up, if people start staying too long, then we'll worry about building a second or a third one. I want the window doors because, again, whenever it comes to saving people's lives, you want to be observed at all times. Privacy is a luxury in these type of situations. Let's build the sonography unit. This is another room that specifically goes in the radiology department. However, having one for general surgery is an advantage. Just to not have to send them halfway across the thing, and that's unique to general surgery, is to require these 2, or not require them, but request that they include them. And I am happy to oblige. The only downside is that the rest of the hospital can't use these. If you want a shared sonography, you need to build it in radiology. If you want a shared cardiology, you need to build it in radiology. And we have a plan for that later. That's going to go on the second floor of our like laboratory examination area. So we got that for the future, but for now we need to focus on what the bare minimum of what we need. Sink, trash, equipment, even my cabinet. This one gets a special cabinet. You get a cabinet with cabinet doors on it. It's not like it's the same thing. We got the table. We got the light. We need an elastograph. What the heck is that? Special mandatory equipment that's used for measuring elastic properties and stiffness of soft tissues. Oh, okay. Must be good for tumors then. We need a desk in this case, because yeah, a technician will be manning this room at all times. Ultrasonography. Well, I mean, you need a sonograph in your freaking sonography unit. Go figure. Office chair. We need a computer. And we would like a printer in case they need to give any prescriptions. And a shockwave therapy. Something's missing from the bed. Okay, exam table. Something is missing from the... Oh, the shockwave therapy has to be next to the exam table. There we go. Now we're good. All right. So now we got that. Again, with this is a specific examination room, so I'm not going to get it a door with windows because that's one of those areas where it's like, all right, you might have to strip down naked and take your top off or something like that. So I'm going to give them that luxury. It's the same thing as if I were going to be building it in a clinic. But this, you know, people are going to go to the diagnosis office area with life-threatening conditions. They're not going to go to sonography with a life-threatening condition, and they're going to be monitored at all times by the technician, so they're going to get a little bit of privacy. Cardiology. Examination table. Let's go ahead and get the same general location. We know we're going to need ECGs and USGs. So, USG goes back there. ECG goes at the edge of the table. What? Did I put the wrong? I thought it shows the equipment table is blue. Does it need a specific orientation? What's up? What's going on? Oh, I'm out of cash. I'm poor. It's not the location. It's just like, bro, you can't buy me. Okay. Let's go $120,000 deeper into the hole, baby. Like I said, this is really like where you double down. This is the make it or break it moment where your hospital either succeeds or fails. And we're buying a lot of luxurious things we don't need. However, my goal for this is that we don't need to handle a volume. We're going for quality here. So I don't want any patient to show up in my hospital and not be able to be treated. They are all going to receive treatment. So we are going to have the entire spectrum of treatment available at this hospital. So I need to buy this expensive equipment. Let's get a regular office desk, same layout. Again, we need the sink, we need the trash bin, and we need the equipment cabinet. You guys are gonna get the tall equipment cabinet. You know, I'm just feeling like you guys are gonna get the standard. Printer. Nice chairs. People are comfortable. PC. Medical light. Whoops. There we go. The lab analyzer is pretty cheap. It's saying, hey, you know, if you want the full spectrum of ability, you might want to put this in the room. So I'm going to get an extra equipment table and add a lab analyzer. There. So now we have a cardiology unit that can handle anything. And I just remembered a cool thing about these extra units that require technicians is if they are not available, because like I said, this is a sonography and a cardiology that is specific to general surgery. Nobody else can use it. So the thing is anybody assigned to general surgery, I only need a day shift for this. I don't need to hire a day shift and a night shift because they can just stay the night and then be treated in the day. So we're going to save a little money on employees by, even though this is a big investment, we're not going to have to hire as many people. I want nice, friendly, double glass doors for the lounge area. And just a couple, nice visitors tables. Give them some space. Have a nice cabinet in the corner with fruit juice and a radio and a vending machine if they want it. Which, that'll be good in case anybody needs extra food. I mean, the nurses are going to be feeding people, but sometimes they'll, just in their free time go and be like, oh, I'm hungry. So having that extra vending machine means that they don't need to walk outside of their ward. They can just walk into the lounge area and grab something to eat. So in fact, I'm going to put a coffee machine in there too. Just so everybody can get whatever they want. And let's see. All right. What do we need? Bare minimum. We need one operating room. Now this, I do like to treat this pretty seriously because I'm used to working in a clean room environment. And so it's very important that the operating room remains absolutely sterile. And so it kind of like irks me. It grinds my gears whenever this doesn't look realistic. People are going to walk in. They are going to walk into this prep room with double doors. I'm at least going to prep the room. I'm not going to buy all the equipment for this. They are going to need to dress up in scrubs. But the first thing they should do is they should wash their hands. So, you walk in. In fact, this is why I put down the doors first. Because I don't like the doors there. They're going to walk in. And the first thing they should do is wash their hands. Then, they scrub up. And they're probably going to glove up, make sure everything's clean, still having the sinks there. Any preparatory equipment left before they go in there. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to say there. And we're going to have a equipment cabinet inside the room and an equipment cabinet in the operating room. So we're kind of pseudo separating these two rooms. It's still treated as one room. It just has a wall and door in the middle of it, which makes perfect sense. Because there, we're going to do that. Let's see, because we don't want anybody to see directly into the operating room. However, we want people that are gloving up to be able to tell what's going on in there. In case, like, things are crashing and they need to go, oh shit, we need to get in there now. Operating room lights. They want 2 of them. We want stools. They're going to need at least 1. They're going to need a suction machine. But that stool is specifically, I think, for the anesthesia, which is $3,600. Every operating room should have a defibrillator right there. Let's see, what else needs to be with the table? I mean, surgery instruments, digital imaging. The digital imager is snapped to a place, so that makes that easier. The instrument table is snapped to the place. I think that's where the surgery instruments go. Yep. Suction machine, does that matter where it is? It doesn't look like it, so I'm just going to put it right here. Because the whole thing, in fact, I'm going to move everything one tile over. And just like everything one tile over, I'm going to move everything one tile up. Because mobility is key in an operating room. Because I want to put warming cabinets over there. I want additional equipment, if they need equipment, to be over there so that they don't have to walk into the ante room there. And I like that instruments table. Can I put the electric cautery on an instruments table? Yeah, great. I want that because that looks a little better in the operating room than your standard equipment table. Something is still missing from this. It's missing the digital imaging. I have that. Oh, I put it in the wrong spot. Okay. The other big thing is, you know what? I'm going to swap the equipment right there. Every operating room is going to have its own individual stretcher because people come and go on stretchers in the operating room. You just get wheeled in and you may be unconscious before you even get there because they give you an injection. Again, not like I have experience in that or anything. Let's see. I want, just for the sake of realism, you have oxygen tanks next to the equipment there. Anything else that makes it look a little more believable. Yeah, again, bare minimum, and here I am going for aesthetics. I don't want the stainless steel cabinet, but I do want another instrument table, and I want to put glassware on it. There. That at least makes it look like they have, you know, a little bit of blood work ready to go. Their equipment, they've got incubators in there. That is an operating room with an ante room for suiting up. Okay. Toilet. Everybody poops. Let's just make sure, you know, I'm going to put the toilet like this. There's only going to be 2 toilets in here because people are not going to be spending a lot of time in this area of the hospital. I just need 1 sink, and there needs to be a hand dryer next to the door. There we go. Surgery is going to have that light blue, or greenish blue. Let's keep that theme. I will color everything else later. There's a good bathroom. All right, we're looking really good, but holy shit, this is taking a long time. But nurse's office, doctor's office. Okay, let's start with the doctors, because we already got nurses for the wards. They're not really as important. They're there to feed people, check on people. They're maintenance. But these are the nurses that are going to be participating in surgery. So, every surgery requires 3 doctors. You need a surgeon, you need an anesthesiologist, and just another general dude. Or, I may be wrong on that. I think maybe 2. I don't know. I'm going to have 3. Every surgery needs 2 nurses. And so, the thing is you just need to have, for the night shift, 1 doctor and 1 nurse. We're going to have 1 doctor. We're going to have 1 nurse. In fact, we're going to have multiple nurses. Those are the night shift for the ward. They're not going to be involved in surgery. The day is when surgery is going to happen. So I need to at least have 3 doctors. I know that. So let's go ahead and tackle that. These are just general, think of it more of as an office area. where I have 4 doctors right there. And they're all going to be, called upon for their reserved times and everything like that. It's it's an office space, not a clinic. And again, they're going to have at least 1 printer in there. So that was relatively cheap. It's the doctors that are expensive. Let's see. Yeah, let's waste a little space by giving them a little bit of gap. Same thing here. The nurses. These nurses are going to be the ones that are directly involved in everything. They're going to be surgery and they're going to be ward nurses. So I want at least 4 of them. Because I'm already going to have 2 more over there. So I'm going to have 6 nurses and 4 doctors. So that way I can be running a surgery and a doctor can be examining someone at the same time. The entire hospital will not shut down if there's 1 surgery being run. That's the gist of the idea. Nice chairs, happy employees, average computer. They're gonna be able to play Doom when they're bored. Equipment cabinets. Let's go ahead and just slap one in that spot on the wall. Make sure, again, a couple wheelchairs, a couple modern. Let's add another modern-looking stretcher there. All right, we have all of the equipment required for a very good. Oh, wait, I forgot. Let's just in case they need it, let's add a meal tray. It all depends where they go to get it from. All right, we have all of the equipment. It is set up. We are $320,000 in debt, and we are losing $3,200 to interest alone because of this loan. We are very much digging ourselves out of a hole that we may need to crawl deeper into before this is over. Because now we need to hire the doctors. It might help if this building was hooked up to the rest of the building. So there, let's get you hallway. I know I'm going to make you a little bit of a special pathway area. All right. Let's eliminate the wall from there. That's open. I'm going to add doors there. Let's open the hallway here. There. So now everybody knows that this is the special entrance to the... in fact, I'm going to add a door there because it is the special entrance to the general surgery area. So whenever you enter a department, let's add these colored doors for the theme of the department. So you're going to the emergency room. You go through the red double doors with slot windows. You go to surgery. You're going to go through the light green. Did I not color the beds? Yeah, not necessary right now. I'm probably going to replace those beds later anyway, because those are the bare minimum common beds. Okay, stop talking. Hire people. Nurses. These nurses are going to be the ward nurses. So we need them to be able to be special nurse or clinic specialists. Nothing wrong with you. You're a little expensive. Nothing wrong with you. You're cheaper. Let's get you. I need a night shift nurse. Again, nothing wrong with you. You're fine. I want 1 nurse per ward, day and night. No, reroll. All right, you're good. You're good for a day shift. Getting a little expensive, but you're fine. Nothing negative. And I need a night shift. I saw someone else good. A good candidate for that. Yeah, you, Margaret. Why did I have to re-identify that? I don't know. Okay. These nurses are just for, I think I can assign like certain nurses to only do, yeah, okay, because they're already there. They're for patient care and they're for patient transfers. They're not going to participate in surgery. Here's where I need a surgery nurses. For surgery, I want 3 minimum. I need 2. I want 3. Because the bare minimum you need. I think you need 3 for each of the surgery. It's been a while. I haven't played this game in a long time, and I'm getting back into it to show you how cool it is. So I'm pretty sure 3 nurses participate in the surgery, but only 2 of them have to be specifically surgery qualified nurses. Regardless, same process. I only want positive things. I don't want negative things. I'm not really concerned with the price. So I need you, because nothing negative. I'm going to re-roll. Not looking for negative icons. I can't afford you to be late. No, no, no. Re-roll. No. Night Owl. You are good. But I'm looking at people. Oh, I'm looking at people with the wrong trait. Did I buy? No, okay. I bought you. You have the right trait. I need people with the surgery qualification, not the nurse specialist qualification. So again, negative, 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 negative. Reroll. Can't afford you to be late. Don't need an alcoholic. Can't afford to sit there and eat. You're expensive, but you have nothing negative. You're fine. I want 1 more. Specifically for surgery. There. Negative, negative, negative. Did I get surgery? Yeah. And what are you? Okay. But you're really expensive. Yeah, not really willing to pay $300 for a nurse. Negative, negative, negative. Even though I'm burning $3,500 every time I reroll. I'm thinking long-term investment here. All right. You're fine. Nothing negative. Fast learner. Don't really care because you've got all the skills you're going to need. You're on the team. So now, I have all the nurses I need. Surgery is only going to happen during the day. You are not going to be involved in patient transfers. I don't need our surgical nurses wheeling people all over the hospital. I'm okay if they visit people in the ward. Because that's just helping these guys out. But they need to be available for surgery at all times in here. The doctors, same thing. The doctors. We need 1 nighttime doctor. Let's just think bare minimum what we need during the night. The night doctor needs differential diagnosis, again, because they're going to be the only person there. And, all right, comforting, great. You are perfect. Barbara Williams, you are our surgical night doctor. They're going to be doing the examinations and basically making sure that the gears are turning. We're letting people out of the hospital during the night so that there's not just this clog where nothing happens and like only things happen during the day. Because then you get the beds start filling them up and people can't leave the hospital until it's daytime. We need a surgeon. Okay, first I want a daytime advanced diagnostic person. Negative, 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 negative. Reroll, negative. Okay, you're fine. A little expensive. Oh, pleasant. Okay, great. And you will not be assisting at surgery. You are purely there for diagnostics. However, I need a surgeon. And show me your secrets. Negative, negative, negative. You're fine. You're really freaking expensive, though. No. Not worth it. Negative, 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 negative. God dang. Okay, this person is looking just fine. However, we have a cheaper person down here that has nothing negative about them, and, you know, being a people person while someone's unconscious on the operating table doesn't really matter. I don't care if they're a good boss. We already have a boss. And practical diagnosis. You're already a freaking specialist. You're not going to rank up. So I'm going to go ahead and take cheaper Susan Lee, who has nothing negative about her, but she is a full, like, $70 cheaper. So now we have a surgeon. Now we need an anesthesiologist. Negative, 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 negative. God, come on, give me someone good. Ooh, there's someone that would be good for the night shift when we start doing surgery during the night, but now we got a cheaper person with nothing negative about her. Lisa Garcia. You're fine. Okay. So, I need to confirm that we only need 2 doctors for the surgery and two nurses for the surgery, because I need to keep my eye on this department and make sure nobody is, like, when a surgery is going on, there are personnel available for everybody else in the ward. I don't want the department to shut down when there's one surgery going on. There needs to be extra people. But we have technically just opened hospitalization for general surgery with a fully functioning operating room. And we're going to see how that works in the next video, because this one's running a little long, but I didn't want to leave you on a cliffhanger there. We do need to hire janitors, we do need to hire lab technicians, but we're going to do that at the beginning of the next video. For now, this is Logic Hog playing Project Hospital. Out.